Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. My name is Julian, and this is the Weekend Ads episode for Week 8 of the fantasy season. If you guys are a little bit behind this week, but you think there's still some room that you could catch up and win the week, this is the episode for you. Or if you're in a categories league looking to catch up on specific categories, you can find that at the end of the video, specific guys that'll help you take home that category. Before we get into it though, guys, please leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. So close to 5,000 subscribers, I can almost taste it. Let's jump into it now, guys, and let's start with the schedule for this weekend. And as you can see here, guys, there are only 3 games on Friday, 13 on Saturday, and 5 on Sunday. Now, 13 is a lot, but there's still possibly you have some room in your lineup, so I'm definitely going to be doing what I normally do and suggest players that you can add for both Friday, Saturday, Friday, Sunday, and then Saturday, Sunday. Let's start with Friday, Saturday, and there are only 2 teams that play both Friday and Saturday. Those teams are New York and Ottawa, so if you do want to add someone for those 2 nights, the best guys to add would be obviously Trocheck and Batherson if they are available in your league, but they are over 70% roster, so I don't have them listed here. But if they are somehow available in your league, definitely the best guys to be adding. The first guy that I have actually listed here is Shane Pinto of the Ottawa Senators. Only 12% rostered, playing on the second line though with Drake Batherson and with Alex DeBrincat, and that's some pretty good deployment. Definitely always has the potential to put up points. He also gets some second power play time as well, which is pretty good. Then I have Filipino, who's getting some pretty good deployment right now alongside Panarin and Capo Caco. I'm not sure how long that's going to last. Seems a bit bizarre that Trocheck isn't playing in that spot, but for now, makes for a pretty good ad with that deployment. Then I have Alexi Lafreniere, who's playing alongside Trocheck and Kravtsov. It's a pretty good place for him to be himself, although he has not produced a lot this year, so definitely not someone that I like to add. Honestly, nobody in this list specifically is someone that I'm super excited about adding, but if you do really need someone for Friday and Saturday, these are the guys that I would go with in this order. Then I have Tyler Ma, who's playing third line on Ottawa. He's been ice cold. Definitely not someone I'm excited about adding, but definitely someone that could potentially score a goal. And Matthew Joseph also plays on that third line in Ottawa. Again, someone that I'm not crazy about adding, but if you do need someone, he's always someone that could put up points. Jimmy Vesey, who has been awful, and he's not someone that I like a lot, but he is back to being on the top line with Zibanejad and Kreider, and as long as he's there, obviously there's always a chance to put up points. And finally, I have Capo Caco, who's playing on the second line right now with Panarin and Hedl, and with that deployment, I don't absolutely hate grabbing him for those 2 nights. Jumping into the most important part of the video now, the teams that play on Friday and Sunday, those are the non-busy nights, and you definitely have room in your schedule those nights. If you do want to add someone, there are 3 teams that play both nights: Columbus, New York Islanders, and Winnipeg. The number 1 guy to add, obviously, is Brock Nelson. The dude's been unreal all year. I've suggested him so many times in my waiver wire video, and yet somehow he's still only 65% rostered. It doesn't make any sense. He should be in almost 100% of leagues at this point. He's been just so good this year. Definitely the best streamer for those 2 nights, if somehow he's still available. And then Boone Jenner, someone who's also been unreal this year, somehow only 41% rostered. Blake Wheeler, someone who's super red hot right now. The next guy I would add for sure. JG Pajot, someone who's also hasn't been doing too bad lately, and also has a hits and face-off wins upside. Adam Lowry also has a hits and face-off wins upside. 8% rostered is the next guy I'd go for. Lowry and Pajot have stars next to them because they are more valuable if you do have hits in your league. Then I have Zach Parise, who hasn't been too bad as of late, playing on the third line with Jean-Gabriel Pajot, and he has been producing a little bit as of late. Then I have Yegor Chinikov, who's been very sneaky under the radar lately, actually been producing a decent amount, and as long as he keeps putting up points, not a terrible ad, only 1% rostered. Could be a sneaky ad in deep leagues for those 2 nights. Then I would go with Oliver Wahlstrom, who's playing top line with Barzal as well as a second power play. Hasn't been that amazing as of late, but definitely someone who could always put up points. Sean Corrali, who's been actually pretty decent lately, puts up hits, puts up a point every now and then, and is pretty decent for face-off wins as well. Then I have Cole Perfetti, who's someone that's just red hot right now. I probably actually would move him above Parise on this list now that he's produced for quite a few games straight. Then Kent Johnson of the Columbus Blue Jackets plays on the third line with Roslovic, but gets top power play time and has been producing an okay amount. Then I have Kyle Palmieri and Anthony Beauvillier, and Palmieri is injured, so make sure that he's actually playing before you pick him up. But if he does play, this is where I'd rank him. And then Beauvillier is playing second line with Nelson and Lee, which is pretty good deployment considering how well Nelson and Lee have done this year. And then finally, I have Gustav Nyquist, who I really don't like for fantasy, but he is playing on the top line with Jenner and Gaudreau. So if you're really desperate, he's someone that isn't the worst ad in the whole entire world. If you're watching this video a little bit later and you need someone that plays Saturday and Sunday, there are 5 teams that play those 2 days: Anaheim, Chicago, Detroit, Minnesota, and San Jose. Number 1 and 2 guys that I would stream are Couture and Hurdle from San Jose. They're pretty much equivalent for me, both playing very, very well, getting top 6 deployment and top power play deployment, and both very, very hot right now. Then I have David Perron of the Detroit Red Wings playing on the second line with Rasmussen and Bertuzzi, as well as the top power play, and it has been producing as of late. You guys, if you watch the show, you know that I love David Perron, and I think he's a great ad for this week. And I have Joel Eriksson of the Minnesota Wild playing on the second line and top power play, and has been producing pretty consistently all season. Then I have Lucas Raymond and Tyler Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi plays on the second line with Rasmussen and Perron, and Raymond plays on the top line with Dylan Larkin and Kubalik. Both have been doing pretty well as of late. Then I have Adam Henrique of the Anaheim Ducks playing on the top line and top power play, and it hasn't been doing too bad. Then I have Alex Baraban of the San Jose Sharks, who's been really hot as of late, kind of like the whole San Jose Sharks team, playing on the second line with Logan Couture, as well as the top power play. And with that deployment and with his current hot streak, he's a very good ad right now. Then I have Jonathan Toews and Max Domi both playing on the top power play. Domi playing on the top line with Kane and Athanasiou, and Toews playing on the second line. Both haven't been that amazing this year, but neither has been too bad either. Then I have Luke Kunin playing on the third line for San Jose, and it hasn't been too bad as of late either. Then I have Marcus Foligno, who's actually playing on the line right now with Joel Eriksson, and oddly enough, Ryan Reeves. Foligno is a guy who gets a decent amount of shots and hits, and definitely could put up points playing with Joel Eriksson. Then I have Jonathan Berggren. Yes, I know Jonathan, not Jonathan. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but that actually is his name. I did not make a typo. He's playing on the fourth line right now in Detroit, but he's off to a pretty good start to his NHL career. And if he's a little bit hot and you're in a super deep league, why not grab him and see what he can do? And then finally, I have Sam Steele, and this is kind of a risky streamer, but he's 0% rostered, and he is playing on the top line with Kaprizov and Zuccarello. With that deployment, if you're in a super deep league, it's pretty tempting of a guy to stream for Saturday and Sunday. He's definitely someone that could put up a whole bunch of points. Jumping into defensemen now to add, and first on the list is Seth Jones of the Columbus Blue Jackets. 68% rostered, and he is manning that top power play in Chicago now that he's back. Then I have Neil Pionk of the Winnipeg Jets, and he has been a little bit worse as of late, but he's definitely someone who's going to continue to provide a safe floor with the hits that he provides. That's why he has a star next to him, because he's definitely more valuable in hits leagues, but he does still put up points every now and then as well, which is why I don't hate him as an ad. Ryan Pulock, 32% rostered, useful mostly for the block shot stat, but actually got 4 assists the other night, so definitely he could put up points every now and then as well. Jake Sanderson, someone who I'm a lot less high on now that Shabbat is back, and he's actually not getting any more top power play time, but still someone that I don't absolutely hate adding for this weekend. Marcus Bjork of the Columbus Blue Jackets is getting top power play time there in Columbus. Jared Spurgeon is a guy getting second power play time in Minnesota and is putting up some decent peripherals. Alexander Romanov puts up hits and blocks in New York. Zub has been putting up a lot of hits since coming back from injury. Someone that I don't hate if you're in a deep league. And then Jake McCabe, who's someone who puts up a lot of blocks in Chicago. For those of you looking to stream a goalie for Sunday, the number one guy to grab would be Semyon Varlamov. And if he does get that start, which I think he might because he seems to get about 1 every 3 starts, his opponent would be the Chicago Blackhawks, which is a pretty good opponent to be facing right now. They're not doing very well at all, and he's definitely primed to put up some good numbers as well as get the win there. Then I have Alex Nedeljkovic of the Detroit Red Wings, and yes, I know he has not been very good this year, but his opponent is Columbus. Columbus is not that great of a team this year. Definitely has an opportunity there to put up a win. Then I have Gibson and Stolars of the Anaheim Ducks, whoever ends up getting that start against Winnipeg. Yes, Winnipeg has been very hot as of late, but Gibson also has been pretty hot as of late, so we'll have to see how he does. I don't absolutely hate that stream, though. Then I have Mrazek or Soderblom against the Islanders, or possibly even Stalik if he does return in time for that game. The Islanders don't score a lot of goals, so even though they probably won't get the win, their percentages probably won't be too bad. Then I have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen and Craig Anderson. And it'll probably be Craig Anderson that gets started on Sunday against San Jose. Now, while Anderson probably will end up winning that game, San Jose has been scoring a lot of goals as of late, which is why I have him a little bit lower on this list. Then I have Jonas Korpisalo of the Columbus Blue Jackets playing Detroit. And Columbus, like I said, hasn't been that great, but Korpisalo hasn't been too bad, so I would probably take a chance on him if you needed a goalie. Then I have San Jose goalie listed here, playing against the Buffalo Sabres, who also have been scoring a lot of goals as of late, so it's a little bit worrisome. But if it is Reimer that plays, I wouldn't be too worried. He's been pretty good all year. If it's Kakkonen or Dell, I would be a little bit more scared. And finally, I have Filip Gustavsson of the Minnesota Wild, and they do have a back-to-back set on Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday, they play Anaheim, and on Sunday, they play Dallas. Sunday is the much tougher matchup. So while it's possible that they save Gustavsson for that second game, I highly doubt they do. I think Fleury's going to play against Dallas, and I think Gustavsson is going to play against Anaheim. If Gustavsson does play against Dallas, he is not someone that I like to stream right now. He has not been very good, and Dallas has been very good. Now, if you're in a categories league and you need to catch up on a certain stat, or if you're ahead just by a little bit and you want to make sure that you win that stat, this is the place that you want to be. The first stat that we're going to look at is shots on goal. And the number one guy to grab for shots on goal is Boone Jenner of the Columbus Blue Jackets. 3.5 shots on goal per game. So if he's available, definitely your best bet. You have him for 2 games. He'll probably get you about 7 shots. Then Brock Nelson 3.1, Eriksson Ek 3.0, Vetrano 3.0, Perron 2.7, Parise 2.5, Bertuzzi 2.3, Brassard 2.2, and Tyler Mott 2.1. If you need blocks, the number one guy to grab would be Jake McCabe of the Chicago Blackhawks. 2.6 blocks per game, so over 2 games would get you probably about 5 blocks. Then Seth Jones 2.4, Romanov 2.2, Peak 2.2, Connor Murphy 2.2, Sandberg also 2.2. And then I have Alec Martinez, who blocks 4.3 shots per game, which is absolutely crazy. But Vegas only does play 1 game this weekend, so the other guys probably will do more over 2 games. If you need hits, the number one guy to add is Cal Clutterbuck of the Islanders. 4 hits per game on average is pretty great. Tenorti also 4 hits per game if he is healthy by the time you want to pick him up. Zub 3.9, Reeves 3.6, Blake 3.6, Foligno 3.6, Matt Martin 3.4, and Adam Ernie 3.2. If you need face-off wins, the number 1 and 2 guys to add are Boone Jenner and Jonathan Toews, who both win 12 face-offs per game on average. Then JG Pajot wins 11, Hurdle wins 9.8, Eriksson Ek wins 8.8, Couture wins 8.3, Domi wins 7.9, and he's also listed as a winger, so that's pretty valuable if you need that. Corrali wins 7.9 as well, and Lowry wins 7.6. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed the content today, please leave a like and hit that subscribe button. Like I said, guys, I'm so close to hitting 5,000 subscribers, so I really, really do appreciate every single subscriber. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.